Grand Rising, everybody. It's the Black Horseman here. Shout out to the UGC and the True Media Movement. It's everybody that keeps it real, stays true to who they are, and does their part in this media. I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson. He goes on Billion Dollars Worth of Game podcast, and there's a clip that is rotating around social media where Frank Martin declined the offer to face Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson, when asked about why Frank Martin declined the fight, he says he was offered 25%. It was more money than he ever got in his career. He don't have a name. I'm the name. And he's a straight up bitch. That came out of Shakur's mouth. And I'm sitting back listening to this guy, right? And then I'm seeing headlines from the media, YouTubers, people on Twitters or whatever, in the social media world that is getting behind Shakur Stevenson and creating this narrative that nobody wants to fight him, this, that, and the third. Now, there's some people that has avoided the smoke from Shakur Stevenson. A lot. A lot of people have avoided Shakur. Shakur is one of them guys that is very, very skilled. And, you can understand why people are avoiding Shakur because, he can get in there. He can break you down mentally and physically. And you could be you cannot be the same after he finishes with you. But I'm thinking about it. His best win is against Oscar Valdez, a PED cheat. Oscar Valdez lost to Robson Consequial, but got a big gift decision. Valdez also lost to Emmanuel Navarrete. So to me, Navarrete's not even all. Valdez is not all that. But I believe that's his best win. You could say Valdez or Herring. But Shakur Stevenson was offered 25%. There's reports. You can look this up from Devin Haney's side. 25%. It was more money than he ever had got in his career. But the same thing he criticized Frank Martin for, which was asking for 50-50, that's the same thing that you asked for was 50-50 because you felt you deserved equal pay. Now, I will side with you and say that Frank Martin is not on your level. Skill-wise, he's not on your level. Popularity-wise, or accomplishments. He's never even won a world title. So I give you that. But you had a offer on the table with Devin Haney where it wasn't just one belt on the line because that's all that was on the line with you and Frank Martin. One belt. Vacant. Actually, the interim or something like that. It's the WBC interim. And Devin Haney will be champion recess. And if Devin Haney came back to the division, you will be facing Devin Haney for the belt. One belt. Or depending on if Devin Haney, kept his belts, if he didn't get stripped of the other belts. My point is that Shakur is a hypocrite. And a lot of people are hypocrites too. And I've noticed that, I guess because people like Shakur Stevenson, they're defending him. And it's a lot of hate. There's been a tremendous amount of hate for Devin Haney. But Devin Haney had all of the belts. And a lot of people didn't like the fact that Devin Haney was A-side. And he made an offer to Shakur. Shakur did not like the offer. He felt he was better than that. He felt Devin Haney, should have gave him more money. but you declined the offer, Shakur. Now you are out here calling Frank Martin a bitch for the same thing that you did. You were offered 25%, and actually it was worse in my opinion because all of the belts were on the line, and you could have been undisputed. We could have been having a whole different conversation, or you could have been having a whole different type of interview on $1 million worth of game if you would have got in the ring with Devin Haney, accepted B-side, took the lower purse, whooped Devin Haney's ass, and you would have been undisputed. And then we could have been talking about how all of these guys don't want to step in the ring with the undisputed king, Shakur Stevenson, but you're not that. As a matter of fact, you're not anything at lightweight. You have done nothing, okay, at lightweight. But that was your ego. That's how you brought it. You came into the division as if like you were already undisputed and like you was already that guy on like a Bud Crawford level, but you're not. And I did videos on this. You missed out on your opportunity to be the guy. You know, despite how people feel about Devin Haney and whatever, that man beat the man that beat the man. Okay? We don't have to too much go down memory lane, but George Kambosos fought Devin Haney. They unified. They all brought the belts together. See, George Kambosos didn't want to go out like Tio and Lomachenko on some sucker shit because they both were avoiding Devin Haney. This is the fact. Lopez didn't want to smoke with Devin. Lomachenko didn't want to smoke with Devin. That's why this franchise situation came about, to avoid Devin Haney. And I respect Kambosos in the sense that he could have went on with the franchise shit and saying that, oh, I'm undisputed or whatnot. But he didn't want it like that. He like, you know what? Devin Haney got the legitimate belt so that there's no dispute that I'm the guy at lightweight. So he fought Devin Haney. He came up short twice in his own backyard. So there was no dispute. There was no question about who was numero uno at lightweight, and that was Devin Haney. Devin Haney is moving on now. He's moving on to fight Regis Prograis. Look like it's going to be December or something like that, according to reports. You had that chance, Shakur Stevenson, to bring all your skill set, but you needed to do one thing, which was humble yourself, take B-side, and beat Devin Haney. That's all you needed to do. Now, you out here on some big cap shit because you acting like you wasn't offered this opportunity, you know, and you criticizing Frank Martin for the same thing you did. When you were offered 25%, you wanted 50-50. You know, you felt you needed more or whatnot. But it's crazy that everybody want to blaze Frank Martin for ducking the fight with Shakur, but they don't want to blaze Shakur for ducking the fight with Devin. And like I said, it's because a lot of y'all don't like Devin Haney for whatever personal reasons, so y'all want to defend Shakur. But Shakur is cap. Shakur is big cap. So he can get in these interviews, $1 million worth of game. He can go to the Breakfast Club. He can go to Hot 97, whatever he want to go to, and talk about how dudes don't want to fight him. But the undisputed champion, Devin Haney, offered you an opportunity at all the belts, and you declined it. What has happened to this boxing community, man? I'm starting to see a lot of changes. I'm seeing a lot of just people pushing narratives. People have been doing that shit for years, but it's becoming extremely disgusting at this point. that people can't just keep it all the way 100. They got to go with the popular topics. Okay, even if it ain't all the way real, they just want to put some shit that's gonna get the clicks. I'm gonna speak the real. If I get 5 viewers, I'm okay with that. That means 5 people heard some real shit. And I know before I press record what I'm here to do. I'm here to get this real shit out. I represent True Media. I go by the name of the Black Horseman, and I've been this way from jump. Ain't no switching up. And I'm gonna keep that same energy. But a lot of y'all don't keep that same energy. You're gonna go with what the popular topic is. And you don't want to go against the grain. Even if you saying even if it's some real shit, a lot of y'all don't stand on 10 toes down on truth. But I'm here to let you know, just like Frank Martin is a duck, so is Shakur. Just like how Frank Martin wouldn't humble himself and accept B-side, Shakur, you didn't do it either. So, enough with the cap. Shakur Stevenson still has no belts right now. You're going to probably get an opponent in there who is not as qualified. And when you get the victory, it's going to be like, who that? All you had to do was fight Devin Haney. Dethrone him. And you wouldn't even have to be in these interviews all salty, disgruntled about not having a big fight. That would have been a huge fight. Shakur versus Devin Haney. But your ego, or maybe you were just concerned about the scrap, the reach, the speed, the defense of Devin Haney. Because if you was extremely confident, you would have accepted B-side and got in the ring. A lot of people have done it to become great. Alexander Usyk did it with Anthony Joshua, right? Devin Haney did it with Kambosos twice. Crawford did it with Errol Spence. Jermell Charlo is doing it with Canelo Alvarez. But you think you bigger than all of them, Shakur. I'm here to tell you you're not, and you're capped.